We have an absolutely fantastic show of music prepared for you this afternoon. Put your hands together for our master of ceremonies, Mr. John Deggs.
Welcome to the second annual Jazz Concert Series, presented to you by the Alvin Batiste Jazz Institute, also known as the Jazz Ensemble. Founded in 1969 by the renowned clarinetist Mr. Alvin Batiste. It was to establish and introduce jazz to HBCU students. Its alumni have gone to perform with jazz luminaries such as Wynton Marsalis, Russell Malone, Reginald Vale, Wes Warm Daddy Anderson, Ellis Marsalis, and Ed Blackwell.
In my opinion, as I do this work, co-leading the jazz program here and developing students, I think about where would I want to see these kids in 4 to 5 years? Because you see, the jazz music or R&B music or any music is expression. There is no book for this. So you have to create the space for the students to be expressive. And that's what Mr. Bat did. He wanted you to be who you are, but put the work in and find and develop your sound, because everybody's got their sound, whether they're a vocalist or an instrumentalist or a percussion player or a pianist. It's up to you to develop it.
I'll play the end of 2, 3, and 4. Ah, ah, ah. Ah, ah, ah. Da, da, da. Ah, ah, ah. Da. Okay.
Alvin Batiste is back. After 3 years of retirement from teaching, the man who has trained and influenced some of the most brilliant classical and jazz musicians in the music world is back in the classroom at Southern University in Baton Rouge.
In 1986, I guess it was, by then I had 3 albums out. We had grown a whole generation of new musicians in New Orleans. The industry was responding to South Louisiana music extensively.
Bat was an extremely beautiful human being. So, I wasn't just being mentored by anybody, but by somebody who not just was a great musician, but it was an incredible human being. There were people that used to just come and just hang out here just because he was here. I miss the Dizzy Gillespie days. I was like, oh man, I wish I would have been around for that.
He had the jazz ensemble, which consisted of enrolled students and what have you, but he also included faculty. Lots of his alumni, people who studied with him, would come back too. So a lot of these big heavy hitters, your Roland Garrins, Russell Andersons, Mark Gully, Edwin Livingston, folks who were out there doing it professionally, they would actually come back to play in the jazz ensemble, and that would give us a whole big band sound.
I learned a lot from Mr. Bat about music and about jazz and about life. He wanted to see students flourish, and he wanted to see them get it. And he made this environment conducive so we could do that.
Jazz is just like life. Once it passed, that's it. There are beautiful things ahead, okay?
When jazz programs started back in the 1960s with Donald Byrd and with the Alvin Batiste, they was the first 2 people that actually was instrumental in terms of having a specific sort of codified jazz education curriculum at HBCUs in the country. And they was regarded as one of the top jazz bands in the nation.
One of the great things about him, what made him such a great teacher, was he was someone that could assess really, really quickly your weaknesses, and he would address those weaknesses with a great sense of humor.
Okay, now you have to learn your bridge, right? See, we can't do what we're doing if you don't know the melody, right? Okay, so you're gonna have to learn that melody. But I like the way you were playing the melody. You made it fit your personality and your capability at this particular time. Okay, so now you have 2 ways to do it, the way you just played it and the way that it's written.
I would say that his influence is still being felt today. He wanted you to manifest a musical personality. He said, nobody can beat you being you.
And you guys are playing very correctly but play right. Huh? Express something. I don't care if you make a few mistakes. Let's go. Try something, Lance. You got it?
The bass player, I don't remember his name. Bat would say, do this. And the guy wouldn't do it. Man, can you hear? He says, yeah, I can hear, man. He says, all right, do this. And the guy wouldn't do it. So then Bat turned to him and said, true, ask anybody. He said, shubba wubba hubba, shubba shubba shubba. Shubba bubba scubba, hubba, shubba shubba. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the guy did it. But I watched him do that multiple times to different people. It's the craziest thing. And it's so crazy that it works. Like suddenly the person is focusing.
I think your solo really came off, Brittany. I think that's the best solo that you've taken this semester.
One of the things that he talked about was being prepared to take advantage of the situation. So he says the worst thing that can happen to you in life is to have an opportunity to present itself to you and you're not prepared to take advantage of that opportunity. And the best shot that you have of being successful in music is to be an individual.
I hope that some of these students perceive the value of developing as high as they can aesthetically and artistically, although it's very difficult.
My goal for the program is to help restore and reignite and restructure, rebrand, and influence every day the students so they can build this program to be one of the best in the nation.
Mr. Paulin has really big dreams for us, and he wants us to go like out of the country, and that's exciting, especially, for like an HBCU. I think there is something for everybody on this side, especially because we just, like you said, we don't only play jazz, there's R&B, we put reggae feels in some of our music. Yep. It's really like a breeding ground for creativity here.
Da 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 da. Then play this on the same rhythm on E. Play it, please. 1, 2, ready, and da 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 da.
He is really like one of the driving force. Him and Mr. Gray, they made sure we have the best resources and everything, and that's more than I think any of us could ever ask for. They don't only care about our collegiate experience, they care about what happens to us afterwards, and having all the right materials here is definitely preparing me for the future.
And so what we're trying to do, since the music level is so high, is give them a business acumen also. And we want to give them exposure so that their career can become activated even at this stage, and they won't have to wait until they finish college.
Mr. Bat always had the vision of us having and needing a studio so we could, do our own thing. And he always pushed, that we need to learn the business, create entrepreneurs, because we were coming out with the talent and everything you get out there in the world, everybody making the money but you. You at the bottom of the totem pole, So I think that was one of his goals. I was able to put together this new program that the music department has. It's a Bachelor's of Music with a concentration in music technology and entrepreneurship.
An analog channel of 25 to go into my Pro Tools so that we can record. So I kind of teach from ground zero of how music technology started, and then I take them through a facet of things of being able to record their voices, being able to record samples from scratch, sound design, and using different things like your iPhone or your iPad, computer to capture all the audio. By teaching you the theory, we start with notes, and then we get into scales and chords, and then the structure of how to create a song. Final project for this particular class is you being able to write and compose your own song. For the recording techniques, I take you through a facet of things of being able to become a recording engineer. A lot of kids don't have the opportunity to touch things like that, or being able to be in front of an SSL duality mixing console. A lot of kids have never ever touched that, and it's a blessing for us to be able to have here.
The Jazz Institute at Southern University is extremely important because it's one of the few times in the history of music in the Western world where you can have an education system that is dealing with people in an indigenous situation and at the same time offer the legacy of knowledge in music per se to them at the same time.
Alvin Batiste was definitely a person that brought a lot to the world, and his legacy lives on.
I think he would be pleased with what's going on. I think he would really be pleased with the overall vibe that the students have, that camaraderie, because Mr. Bat would also tell us the hang is just as important as the gig. Us students hanging together and talking about music and making up stuff they own, that's how a lot of great music was created.
I want to leave it better than we found it. Leaving a higher standard of musicianship, leaving a higher standard of friendship.
It's all been, as you can see, a big pot of gumbo. Mr. Batiste is, he knew how to bring people together, and he knew how to put things together, and I love that for our students now, and his legacy is going to continue to grow.
They made a profound impact not only on the music and the culture around the music, but upon music education in general.
The future in the program is in front of us. We're redoing our facilities. Mr. Paulin is doing an outstanding job recruiting, bringing in students from all over the country to make this a live and vibrant jazz place to be. I always feel like Bat's energy is always here.
What do they say? We only use about 10% of our brain power, right? And brain power is the lowest power that we have. If you only use 10% of your brain power, well, we're probably using less than 1% of our soul power. And I wish I could use more soul power.